Hi, this is Kim. This is the first week. I'm going to go over the answers to the sample problems and also going to touch on the homework problems a little bit. So let me go through this. It's important that you understand how to do these because you're going to have your first quiz next week and it's going to be on time value of money. It's a little bit on the balance sheet, but not too much, and I don't think that is very difficult anyway. So let's talk about this. I explained to you in a previous video that the best way to do these is to follow my 2 steps. And the first step would be to really focus on that problem at the end of the statement. So I'll go through this again. You have $600 today, an interest rate of 9%, and expect to hold it for 5 years. Here is the question. How much will the investment be worth at the end of this period? Well, end to me sounds like future value. So you go ahead and you put in future value. And then you go to the money, step 2. So here is the money. The money says $600. It does not say it's an annuity payment. It just says it's a one-time $600 today. So it's future value of a lump sum. And then you would go over here to the table to future value of a lump sum and really just start keying in your variables. So the present amount is $600 and the interest rate is 9%. And then lastly, the number of periods is 5 years. Remember to click one more time to get your answer, and then you come over here and you put down $923. Moving on. Question number 2. Okay, it's about a down payment for a house. I'm going to go 4-year CD, pays 5%. The question. How much will I need to invest today? Today. Operative word, today. So I know that today is present value. Next, I'm going to go to the money. $15,000. It does not say anywhere that it's an annuity or anything like that, so it appears to be a lump sum. Present value lump sum. I'm going to go over here to my present value lump sum table and start typing in my variables. 15,000, 5%, 4 years. So the amount I need to deposit today so that I have $15,000 in 4 years is $12,340. Okay, moving on. Question number 3. Now I'm planning for retirement. I'm going to retire in 35 years, and I think that I can save $500 a year. Okay, well, that's the first thing right there. $500 a year, and that's not very much, is it? So I am move my table over here a little bit. I'm going to earn 8%, which is good. How much will I have accumulated at the time I retire? Okay, well, I'm not retired yet. So again, that is out in the future. So I'm going to put future value here. But here I see that this is an annual payment per year. And anything that's annual is going to be an annuity. So now I'm going to do a different table, a future value of an annuity table. So here I'm going to put $500 at 8% and 35 years. At that time, I am only going to have $86,000, 86,158. By the way, not enough. Moving on. Question number 4. My financial advisor says I will need to have $60,000 per year. Okay, $60,000 a year for 30 years. So I'm thinking right now that I'm going to have this timeline. Picture every year I need $60,000. Here's the question. If I retired today, what's today again? Today is present value. How much money did I have in my account so that I could, again, go into the money so that I could have $60,000 a year? So that's an annuity because I'm asking for amount of money each year. So I'm going to go to present value of an annuity, and my periodic payment that I'm going to need in retirement is $60,000 a year at 4% for 30 years. How much was in my retirement account? $1,037,522. $1,037,522. On the day I retired, I had $1 million. And because of that, I could take out $60,000 each year for 30 years to help fund my retirement. That is how that works. Question number 5. I have about $1,500 each year, 5%. I'm going to go to Europe after I graduate, which I think would be a fantastic idea. How much money will I have if I graduate in 6 years? Okay, so 6 years from now is future value because I haven't graduated yet. And when I go to the money, I see that it is each year, which implies annuity. Over here, future value, another future value of an annuity. I have $1,500. I'm going to make 5%, and I have 6 years before I graduate. So I will have a whopping $10,202, which if I stay in youth hostels and actually you could stay in even Airbnb and make it on that amount of money in Europe. So hopefully you do that. Go enjoy. Okay, Grandma just gave you $5,000 and you want to purchase your first fund. You want to buy some stocks. How much money will you have when you retire? Again, you're going to retire. You're not retired yet, 40 years. So that's future value. Go to the money, $5,000 only. Doesn't say it's an annuity, so we're going with lump sum. Future value of a lump sum over here for $5,000 at 6%, 40 years. Well, Grandma's present now is worth $51,421, $428. Next, you won big in Vegas. I can take $70,000 now or $20,000 per year for the next 4 years. So now immediately I'm sure you think, well, I'm going to take $20,000 for 4 years because that's $80,000 and that's more than $70,000. However, time value of money will say that if you receive all $70,000 up front, you can invest all of this money today instead of investing $20,000 this year, $20,000 next year, etc. So what we have here for this problem is a choice. Okay, your choice is $70K now, and now that's in present value. Okay, or I can take this $20,000. Okay, for 4 years. So what I need to do to compare these is to also bring this to present value. So I'm going to put in here, I must bring this to present value. Otherwise, I cannot compare this. So I'm going to bring this into present value here of an annuity because this is an annuity stream. And I can compare this $70,000 that's already in present value to the present value of an annuity stream. So that's what I'm going to do. In my PVA table, present value of an annuity, I'm going to put in $20,000 at 5% for 4 years. And I'm going to see that that is really today. This is what this is worth today. So today's value is $70,919, which is higher than $70,000. This is the real value of this money today. So I am, in fact, my answer after I show the math on my quiz is to take the payments. That's a tough problem. Not sure I'll give you one of those. And the last problem here for sample homework is you owe $16,000 in student loans and you decide to defer. Defer meaning you're not going to pay them. You're going to put them off for another 5 years at 5%. Well, this is a very common theme among college students is you can't pay them yet, so you go back to school and take a couple classes and you defer your student loans. Unfortunately, the interest still accumulates on these loans. So what we're going to see is how much will I owe in 5 years? So that's future value. I deferred a lump sum, not an annuity stream. So let's see how much I'll owe. $16,000 at 5% for 5 years. So now, because I haven't paid anything, I owe $20,420. And you really need to ask yourself, was it worth it to defer these? Because now you owe $4,420 more dollars. Okay, so let's go back here and let me open up your homework. See what I've got going on here. I always split the screen on these. I think it's easier to do. Okay, so problems here. Rule of 72. It's not in your book, but is it on Google? Yes. Super simple? Yes. And I really want you to figure it out for yourself and make sure you know how to use it because it's going to be on your quiz. You will have a problem on Rule of 72, and I'm confident you can figure it out. So I'm going to go over here to problem number 3. A family spends $46,000 on living expenses. If prices increase 3% a year, what would we call that? We'd call that inflation. For the next 3 years, what amount will the family need? Okay, need for their living expenses after 3 years. 3 years, future value. Again, 3 years from now. $46,000 a year. So since it's a year, each year it's going to be an annuity. So now you're going to key in your information. I'm going to actually post answers to this for the problems. But that's the table, future value of an annuity. Number 4, Mr. Collins plans to buy a house. If the real estate market is expected to increase by 2% each year, what will be its value 7 years from now? Again, 7 years from now, future value. And he's looking at $220,000. Does it say each year? It does not. So it's going to be future value of a lump sum. What would be the yearly earnings for a person with $6,000 at savings? That's just a simple interest rate problem. Number 7, if you want $10,000 in 5 years, what would you need to deposit today? We had a very similar problem to that I just went over. This person is planning on going to graduate school, wants to have $8,000 each year, annuity. If he earns 4%, how much must he deposit at the start of his studies? This one is a little tough. This is like an annuity problem with retirement. So again, he wants this $8,000 each year, and he wants to know, so how many years does he have? 3 years. So he wants, year 1, $8K, year 2, $8K, and then year 3, $8K. So the question is, how much does he need now so that he can withdraw $8K for 3 years? So my hint to you is think, not think PVA. Carla deposits $3,000 a year, annuity. If these funds have an average earning of 8%, 40 years, what's the value of her retirement account? Here's a coffee problem. I always like these. If you spend $10 a week on coffee, $500 a year, What will be the future value of that amount over 2 years if you instead decided to put that money in an account earning 3%? So, how much money are we wasting spending on coffee? This is again, this financial problem is about a choice. You can take $60,000 now or these payments of $10,000. So remember now, this is already in present value. What you need to do is do present value of annuity of the payments. How much are they worth today? And then finally, Tran, he's setting aside $2,200 for 7 years. What would be the future value? So I think you can handle that one. I will post the book problem answers, but I'd just like you to work these out on your own before I post the official book answers tomorrow. So thanks for now and have a great evening.